Hello class, this is Dr. Flood with another video on how to do statistical analysis in SPSS. First, what we're going to do is we're going to open up the SPSS statistics software. So it should be this uppercase sigma symbol. All right. And when you get to this page, this is called a splash page. You're just going to exit out of this. All right. And you should be in what's called variable view. So there's two views, there's data view and there's variable view. So you want to be in variable view so that you can tell SPSS information about your variables. So the first thing is in this first column that's titled name, all right, you are going to name your first variable. And your first variable is going to be student. So you're going to put in student with a capital S. All right, then you're going to press enter. Your second variable under the column name is going to be, let's see. So that second variable is going to be IQ. And then press enter. All right. And now we're going to change facets of these variables. Make sure IQ is in capital letters. So we're going to move over to decimals and we're going to click into the decimals, the box right under the decimals column, and we're going to change these decimals places to 0. So we're going to press down and change those to 0. We're going to change this one as well for IQ to 0. All right. Then we're going to go into the column that is named label, and we're going to put a label or describe in more detail what our what our variables are. So in this one says the name of our variable is student. All right, so I could put for label student participants in study, something like that. This will let me know what that variable name means with more specificity. Then for IQ, I'm going to put intelligence quotient. All right, so now I have labels for my variables. And I'm going to move over to measure. And where I have measure, I'm going to change the scale of measurement. All right, remember there's 4 scales of measurement. There is nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio. Interval and ratio are both under what is called scale, and then we have ordinal and nominal. So for my variable of student, my scale of measurement is going to be nominal. For my variable IQ, my scale of measurement is going to be scale. All right. And that is it for this part in organizing the variables and their qualities. I'm now going to move to data view. So I'm going to bring my cursor and hover over data view and click on it. That'll take me to the data view. All right, and as you can see in data view, there's going to be 2 columns with my variable names, student and IQ. And I'm going to put in data for both of those variables. Now, you are going to have different data for these variables that I'm putting in here. I'm just doing this to show you how SPSS it runs a one sample or single sample t-test. All right, so at this point, you're going to put in your own data. I'm going to put in fictitious data on my end. So for student, I have, I'm going to press in here, and I have student 1, I have student 2, student 3, student 4, and student 5. For IQ, so student 1 has an IQ score of 100, Student 2 has an IQ score of 110. Student 3 has an IQ score of 105. Student 4 has an IQ score of 125. And student 5 has an IQ score of 130. All right, so that is the data for that I'm going to use for my analysis. Now, in order to run a one sample t-test, we are going to go to Analyze. So we're going to click on Analyze, and it brings up this right here. All right. Then we're going to scroll down on Analyze until we get to Compare Means. So here is Compare Means, and that brings up a smaller dialog box or drop-down menu box. Under Compare Means, I'm going to press One Sample T-Test. One Sample T-Test. And when I press that, a dialog box is going to appear called a One Sample T-Test. All right. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight intelligence quotient, or IQ, and I'm going to move that by over to test variables by pressing on this arrow key right here. So intelligence quotient, or IQ, has been moved over into the test variable box. Next, I'm going to change the test value from 0 to 105. So 105 is my hypothetical or real population mean, that I am going to see if my population mean, if my sample mean is similar or different to my population mean. So my test value or my population mean in this study is 105. And I'm going to make sure Estimate Effect Sizes is checked off if it isn't already. All right. And then once I do this, I'm going to press OK. All right. And now what you're going to see once you press OK is you're going to see three different tables. The first table is titled One Sample Statistics. The second one is titled One Sample Test. And the third is titled One Sample Effect Sizes. All right, and before I do that, before I do anything else, what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click. I'm going to go over here where it says Notes, and the icon next to Notes, I'm going to double click on that. And it's going to pull up the Notes section. Make sure you do this for every assignment you send to me. Failure to include a Notes section will be an automatic 0 on the assignment. So I'm going to double click Notes, and a Notes section will pop up. It'll look something like this. All right. So here is the Notes section. All right. Along with the three tables that I need for this analysis. All right. And so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to read you what this particular study is about. All right. And so this should be on your list of things on your computer lab assignment, all those links. And it's the link called Computer Lab Assignment One Sample T-Test Revised. All right. And for this, the sample problem is this. The superintendent of the Riverwalk School District claims that the students in his district are more intelligent on the average than the general population of students. The mean IQ of the general population of school children is 105. A study was conducted to determine the IQs of a sample of school children in the Riverwalk district. The results are as follows. So in this, I have two variables. One is student, one is IQ score. I have 30 students in this sample problem, and I have 30 IQ scores for each student in my sample. So In this problem, we are testing the null hypothesis that the mean IQ of all school children in the Riverwalk School District equals 105. This will be assessed by examining a random sample of Riverwalk students. This value was selected because it was already known that 105 is the overall mean IQ of all students in all school districts. We want to know whether the Riverwalk population is any different. Is the mean of this sample significantly different from 105? So that is the study. All right. And some of the first sections that you are going to put in here are going to be the notes section and the one sample statistics and the one sample test, and also you're going to copy and paste the so you're going to copy and paste the one sample effect sizes. As well. Okay, so let's do that. So to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to go to our output, and we are going to press on these two boxes right here to hopefully restore it down. Okay, that did that. All right, great. And then we are going to open up our template. The template should be on your list of items for this assignment. And so it's labeled Computer Assignment One Sample T-Test Template. All right, and and so what I pressed was the Restore Down button, and that created a split screen. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to then reshape this output by putting the cursor over there and making this longer over here. All right, and so for this, all right, now I have these two things shown to me. All right, so the first part of this says, hey, this is not a group assignment. Do your own work. Failure to do this will result in a 0. Please do this assignment on your own. If I find that y'all are working together, all parties will get a 0 on this assignment. So under the notes section, I am going to post the notes section. So I'm going to hover over the notes section. I'm going to right click. I'm going to press copy. And then I'm going to go back to my document. I'm going to right click and I'm going to press paste. But there's different paste options. I'm going to choose the paste option that says keep source formatting. So it's the first one. All right, and I'm going to press keep source formatting, and voila, the notes section is going to be there. Then what I'm going to do is I am going to move this subheading, the one sample statistics table, down to the beginning of the page, all right, because your heading, all right, your headings should be on the same page as the table or charts or graphs that they are representing. So for one sample statistics table, I'm going to find where that is at over here, and that is this right here, the one sample statistics table. So I'm going to hover over it. I'm going to right click. I'm going to press copy. And then I'm going to put my cursor right beneath the heading one sample statistics table. And I'm going to press keep source formatting. And then voila, here is my one sample statistics table. I'm going to do the same thing for the one sample test table. And this is this right here. So I'm going to right click, press copy. And here is the one sample test table. All right. And then lastly, I'm going to do the same thing for the one sample effect sizes. All right, I'm going to come over here, and here's my one sample effect sizes. I'm going to press copy. And I'm going to press paste. And under paste, it's going to be again, keep source formatting. Alrighty, so now I have all of the items that I need from the SPSS output. All right, so now I'm going to answer the questions that I have for this assignment. All right, so I'm going to go back to this over here. All right, and I'm going to press the restore down button, and I'm going to move that into a split screen. So just moving it to the split screen. Okay, so the first question asks, what is the null hypothesis and the alternative hypothesis for this particular statistical analysis? So I'm doing a one sample t-test, all right? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up my slides for that particular chapter, all right? So let's find the slides for that chapter. So it's going to be on chapter 9, and I'm going to scroll until I find the, let's see if I can find it, until I find the null and alternative hypothesis for a one sample t-test, and that is this here. All right, you're going to submit this to me in symbols. These are the symbols that you are copying and pasting. This is the null hypothesis, and this one is the alternative hypothesis. Make sure when you copy and paste this into your assignment that this looks exactly the same. All right. If it doesn't, you're going to need to Google and find out how you make subscripts and where you find Greek letters for the mu symbol, and you're going to have to recreate this. All right, recreate this. All right, otherwise you're going to lose points. So make sure this looks exactly the same way. All right, and you're going to post that. For the first one, the null hypothesis is going to go here, and for the second one, the alternative hypothesis is going to go here. All right. All right. The next part of this assignment is the fill in the blanks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this, and over here, I'm going to copy it, and then I'm going to paste it right inside of here using keep source formatting. But let's see if I can find something a little bit better. Nope. All right, so I'm going to put keep source formatting. All right. So for this write-up, it says a one sample t-test was run to determine if the sample of IQ scores were significantly different from the population. The sample mean IQ score, and I have here the mean. I want to know what the mean is and what the standard deviation is. All right. So for this, in order to find out where everything goes for the write-up, I'm going to go back to my PowerPoint slides. And so go back to chapter 9, and this will show you in a color-coded fashion where you should put each of the information that is being requested. So I'm going to make this, I'm going to restore down on this to make it a split screen. It's a little bit tiny, but maybe I'll just make this a little bit tinier. Okay, yeah. All right, so I can make this a little bit bigger. Okay, let's see. Okay. So a one sample t-test was run to determine if the sample of IQ scores were significantly different from the population. The sample mean IQ score, all right, where I have the mean and the standard deviation, well, the mean, all right, is 2.83 in this example. So let's see what it looks like on my example. So I'm going to go here. Well, the mean for me is 114. That's the mean. So my mean is 114. And it says the standard deviation, well, that's in this blue right here. So that corresponds to this blue. And that's in the one sample statistics. So let's scroll up to find out what my standard deviation is for this. And my standard deviation is going to be 12.942. So let's write that in here. All right. And then it asks, was that sample mean IQ score higher or lower than the normal IQ score of 105? Well, this is my sample mean. My sample mean for my sample is 114. 114 is larger or higher than 105. So I'm going to erase the other parts and just keep the higher part. All right, because that's what it says on my data. All right, you could keep the this highlighted. All right, so the sample mean IQ score of 1 was higher than the normal IQ score of 105. The next thing it asks is this a statistically significant mean difference or a non-statistically significant mean difference? All right, well, to find out if it is statistically significant, all right, I am going to go right here. So a statistically significant mean difference of, and here is this color, and that corresponds to this right here. All right. So let's go to that. Let's put that in there. So where it says mean difference, well, that right there, that mean difference is right here. So that's going to be 9,000 or 9.000. My mistake. All right. So 9.000. All right. That is my mean difference. Mean difference. All right. And then it asks, well, what is my 95% confidence interval? All right. Well, the confidence interval, all right, is right here, right? It's going to be this color right here and this color right here. So that corresponds to the 95% confidence interval of the difference. So we have the lower one right here and the upper one right here. So let me find out what that is on my section. So let's look. So okay, well, it looks like this this particular thing that I pasted is a little too small. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase this one and put something different. No, let's see. Let's play with this a little bit. Delete entire column. Let's see. Delete entire row. Okay, let's erase this as well. So we're going to do something else with this. I still have it here. Okay. Let's go back to our data. All right. And we're going to go to one sample test. And we're going to right click on it, press copy. And then we are going to paste it right here. But this time, instead of pasting it as keep source formatting, we're going to paste it as a picture. All right. So paste it as a picture. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click into the one sample test, and I'm going to put my cursor on this right here, and I'm going to readjust the size of what I have until all of it fits onto the page. So now it fits on the page. All right. All right. So that's how I solve that problem. So for me, the lower confidence interval is -7.07. So that's -7.07. All right, and the upper confidence interval is 25.07. All right, so let's put 25.07. Then it asks me for, let's minimize this again. Then it asks me for what is my t statistic. Well, the t statistic is this right here, where it says t. That's in the yellow. So 2.790. All right. So my t statistic is right here. So this is 1.555. So I'm going to put that where that yellow is. So that's going to be after the equal sign. 1.555. All right. And then what goes inside of here next to the t statistic is going to be my degrees of freedom. All right. And so that's the green part. That can be found over here where it says degrees of freedom under the one sample test. So let's go to see what that says for me. For me, it says the degrees of freedom is 4. So I'm going to erase that underline, and I'm going to put 4. So I did a t statistic. The degrees of freedom is 4. All right, and the t statistic was 1.555. Then it asks, okay, what is the p-value? What is the p-value? All right. Now, the p-value is interesting because this can come in many different kinds of styles. So I'm going to go over real quickly what that looks like. So for all of the assignments you have in this class, your alpha level is going to be 0.05. All right, so under the two-sided p-values, you may see one of the following. You may see what's called an exact value, so it would be, you may see 0.028, so you would write p equals 0.028 if it's an exact value. Sometimes you might see this, which means less than 0.05, so you would write the p-value is less than 0.05, which means you have a statistically significant result. Sometimes they'll just say you have something is less than 0.01. So you would write p is less than 0.01. And right here too, you have a statistically significant result because 0.01 is less than 0.05. All right. Then you may see it say less than 0.001. All right. And so for that, you would write p is less than 0.001. And you too here have a statistically significant result because 0.001 is less than 0.05. You also may see this, less than 0.000. Well, less than 0.00 doesn't actually really exist. All right, that's just telling the reader that the probability value is very, very, very small. And so what you would write for this is p is less than 0.001, and you do have a statistically significant result for this as well, because 0.000 is less than 0.05, which is the alpha level that you are comparing your probability value to, your p-value to. So let's look at what we have for this. All right, so where do you find this p-value? Well, you find it under significance two-tailed. All right, that's in the red. Now, this may look a little bit different because this slide uh, is a part of an SPSS from an earlier time period. All right, so now you would look at the two-sided P. That's what you're looking at. Significance two-tailed is the same as two-sided P. And so for me, the two-sided P is 0.195. 0.195. So P equals 0.195. And so now what you're going to do is you're going to take the p-value of 0.195 and evaluate if 0.195 is greater or lesser than 0.05. Well, all right. Well, 0.195 is in fact greater than 0.05. It's greater than 0.05. So what that means is if your p-value, so they gave me an exact p-value. All right, so I'll write p equals whatever the p-value is. If your p-value is greater than 0.05, well, you did not find a statistically significant result. But if your p-value is less than 0.05, well, then you did find a statistically significant result. So in this case, our p-value is a non-statistically significant difference. So I'm going to erase this part right here. So now we have a one-sample t-test was run to determine if the sample IQ scores were significantly different from the population. The sample mean IQ score, with a sample mean of 114 and a standard deviation of 12.942, was higher than the normal IQ score of 105. A non-statistically significant mean difference of 9, with a 95% confidence interval from negative 7.07 to 25.07. We ran a t-statistic where the degrees of freedom is 4 and the t-statistic was 1.555. The p-value was 0.195, and the last thing that we need is the estimated Cohen's d. All right, and the estimated Cohen's d could be found. Well, let's go back to this right here. Well, this doesn't tell you over here where the estimated Cohen's d is, but in order to do that, your estimated Cohen's d is going to be right here where Cohen's d and point estimate meet. So right here, that is going to be 0.695. 0.695. All right. So Cohen's d is 0.695. All right. And that is the write-up for this assignment. And so don't forget that for this, you are going to submit this to me. You're going to name it how I have it named in the instructions. Let me just pull that up. So save the Word document with the name Computer Lab Assignment 3 One Sample T-Test. All right. You're also going to send me the SPSS data file and the output file. So let me show you how to save these. All right. So for here, you have the SPSS output file. So all you would do is go to File, and you would go to Save As, and then you would save it somewhere, all right, on your desktop, all right, on your computer, and you would submit that to me along with your assignment. You also are going to have to submit to me your data file. All right, so let's go to the data file. All right, so the data file, you're going to press File, Save As. All right, and you're going to do the same thing. You're going to save it. All right, and then submit that to me along with the output file, along with your write-up assignment. All right, And that takes us to the end of this assignment. If there's any questions, please let me know. Other than that, have a great day.